Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know the conference is already delayed, so won't take much time. Departing from my written speech, will speak whatever I could think extempore. Thank you very much, Week, for putting up this great show. Large number of officers from armed forces, from decision makers, from industries, coming together and discussing various things certainly would be useful to all of us. My topic is Make for World, India's Defense Export Potential. So right now we are in the phase of Make in India with some export. That some export is growing very well, as numbers suggest. In 2014, we were exporting around 1,000 crore components, products, systems, services also, which has gone up to 24,000 crore. So which is a very healthy growth, and this growth is getting broad-based, it is getting widened, it is also number of exporters are increasing. This year in 24-25, there are around 80. Number of countries to which we are exporting is also increasing, more than 100. And the quantum suggests that it is deepening also. So how this was made possible? In the last panel, we discussed that something was tried, but unfortunately we couldn't reach to the destination. Here the story is slightly better, that something has been tried and we are somewhere. I can't say that we have reached to the destination. But are we there where we can say that we are making for the world? Let's reserve that for now. Let's concentrate now for making India for our armed forces first, and also continue to have some part in the export market, which is growing, which should grow. This was made possible by first believing our industry here within the country. We all know that mostly we have been largely dependent on import on our needs, defense needs, till a decade and a half ago. And almost a decade ago, a decision was taken to start thinking of making India as a primary vehicle. And so the demand side pull came, demand for the industry to come up, that the budget, defense acquisition budget, was now for last many years is reserved 75% of that for the acquisition from the domestic source, which does not mean that every technology which is being acquired is an indigenous technology, but it is being acquired through domestic source, which was a very, very great push, I think, a very strong signal. And also, supply side push came by liberalizing the private industries to come in. Earlier, though we opened the private sector, this defense sector for the private industries in 2001 or so, but the real push started coming in last decade or so, when not only we reserved the funds for the acquisition, and also from the DRDO side, large number of technologies got transferred to the private sector in addition to the DPSU, and so right now there is no priority treatment to the DPSU as far as DRDO technologies is concerned, unless they are the best possible candidate to get that technology. So transfer of technology from DRDO, reserve, defense acquisition budget, and also in the priority of purchase, when we are saying IDDM is the first priority, Indian design and something like that. So basically which is designed also and manufactured in India also. Then we go for buy Indian, etc., etc. Licensing became very easy, and export permission became much more liberal, and it's getting further liberalized every year, because as everybody would understand that streamlining the process is a continuing job, it's not one-time activity. So that's why Make in India happened, and is rather happening. Last year, the domestic production was around 1,26,000 crore, and export was 23,000 crore, which has gone up this year. It was not in a small measure was helped by the rising stature of the country as a whole. Under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi, basically, it's not that anybody can go to the defense market and start selling. People purchase from the reliable partner. People want to purchase from somebody who is somebody in the world scenario. So that in no means was held by the rising stature of politically of this country, and this fact I feel should be underlined better, and appreciated better. Situation also helped us in exporting because of the situation which is in the Russian-Ukraine border, Israel, and Hamas, and also other places. That also helped. This export has been led mostly by the private sector, which if one start thinking is no-brainer. Basically, the processes which are required for export, that too in the defense market, is very, very difficult for a defense or for a PSU, whether defense or civil PSU. So this export was led or is being led by the private sector, though the defense PSUs are also contributing very significantly, and I don't see that it's going to change in a major way, and there is no need for any change. The private sector can continue to lead the export. But what we are exporting, if we start thinking, then because we have to address the question whether we can make for the world. The week has really given the agenda, which is very steep, I must say. Can we make for the world? So first we have to think what we are right now exporting. So we are exporting some end product and services which are useful in the war situation, which may not remain useful for all the time. More importantly, what we are exporting is that we have become, our private sector and also to some extent public sector has become part of the supply chain, global supply chain, which is a very sustainable business, which will continue to be so, because that means that our components are being accepted by global manufacture. We have reached to that level of manufacturing in terms of precision, in terms of quality, that they are getting accepted, and that means we are also getting some hand-holding by global supply chain partner that will deepen our technology capability in terms of manufacturing and in terms of understanding. Would that be sustainable for long? So as I said, that I am pretty confident that when we become part of the global supply chain, it would be sustainable. But are we ready to export the product, the systems, which are so advanced that people are dependent on those systems and product? Not right now. We all are aware of that. And to reach that level, first we have to come to that level within this country itself. There are certain gaps which we all know. Just one big gap was discussed a while ago. Other gaps are certainly the material, material technology, developing the material, semiconductor, electronics, and certain high-end technology, which is still, either we don't have good ecosystem to do it, or because of the economy of scale, or because somebody has already taken the lead, and the investment cycle is very steep and demand of investment is very huge. We are not there, but we need to reach there in all these spheres so that we can say that we are at that level of technology where we can not only design, a requirement which is needed by other country in a reliable manner, and also in a manner when it is affordable to others, because we won't be the only choice. There would be many other choices also. So the challenge is quite steep, but we have good strength also. Some of the strength is that our manufacturing ecosystem has worked with both type of technology. Two big block of technologies, one is Western bloc and another is Russian. So we are comfortable working with both. They are also comfortable working with us. And most of the country are relying either one or other, except the China is emerging as third, amalgamation of both. Our strength is we are very competitive. We have got good human resource. Though we have not so strong in advanced manufacturing, I suppose, and I believe and I wish and I hope we are catching up in advanced manufacturing and precision manufacturing. But we can be said that we are competitive in deep technology, though where at least the use of mind, use of basic mathematics, use of software is prominent. We can say we are there, almost at par with the world. That's why, as Anshuman was saying, that most of the technologies, or if I don't use the word most, but significant part of the technologies which are being developed in America is being developed either by Indians or under the leadership of Indians. That means that inherent capability exists. And these are not second generation, third generation Indians. Many of them are first generation. Yesterday somebody told me that in California, I'm not sure because I'm not updated with numbers and I don't even have penchant for remembering those numbers, that most of the startups, or let's say a very large amount of startups in California is being led by Indian, first generation or the most second generation Indian. So it's not that they were born and brought up, educated in America, imbibed all the cultural virtues of America and then they started doing it. It means they were product of this Indian ecosystem, they were able to do it. So that's our strength, we can do it. We have started some small measure by edX program, but whether that would be enough, I personally feel more is to be done in terms of quantum, in terms of money which we should put in the hands of youngsters, in the hands of startup, belief which we need to put up in them. Certain things we can do immediately. Some gaps we can or should bridge very fast. That is test facilities, which was discussed just in the last panel also. We need to develop those test facilities and should make them available to our industries. Second, we should integrate our industries with major player, that is defense PSU and also big private sector, so that they have long-term hand-holding. We also should do some hand-holding of our innovators, our startup should be more deep and should be more involved. Their cost of operation should be reduced. Right now their cost of operation is very large. In last month I have been having a very intense discussion with various groups of the startup company, almost 8 to 10 groups working in different fields. So one of the things which I could understood is that their dependence on us for their working capital is very huge, because defense technologies don't result into product, a marketable product or a purchasable product very soon. They take time, typically 1.5 years, 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. Surviving those 3 years without having source of money is very difficult. Last, not the least, I won't take much time, is that if we feel that we have to make for the world, then we have to believe that we can make for India first. And if we have to believe that we can make for India, then we have to put our money where our faith is. We have to place long-term orders. We can't create Indian industry ecosystem by placing yearly orders. We have to place order for 7 to 10 years. Then only the defense industry can put up their infrastructure, develop the supply chain, and create a confidence that whatever is coming won't get dry down after a year or two, it will continue for 8 to 10 years. Then we also need to believe that whatever we are purchasing today can be improved by this ecosystem, and though our requirement may not be met 100% today, but we are sure that in down the line after 2 to 3 or 4 years, this requirement would be met 100% and would also be improved by our Indian defense industry. I'm sure with these broad thoughts in our mind, not only will we make in India for India, we will make in India for the world. Thank you very much, gentlemen.